Presentation. Hello, Zoomers. Would all the guests of Rotarians please rise? Thank you for being here in support of Shannon Hackley. You may be seated. Would all visiting Rotarians please rise? And thank you for being here as well. Please join me in welcoming the leadership teams of Oakland Rotary in 2024-25, ORC, the Board of Directors, Joe Goralka, the President-elect, Seth Butner, President of the ORE, our endowment. Please proceed to the front of the room. There's some people who should. Huh? Please. Well, I want to give it Seth, you're up here. Joe Goralka. And cleaning up my pillow in the lazy day. Music in my head, crazy music playing in the. Michael Houston, Stu Epstein up on the stage, along with Keith Giarty. Keith. You're going to hold this when I ring the bell. So in memory of our Independence Day last week, we have the honor today of having Issa Chu sing our national anthem. Issa, you want to come on up? I don't have you.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. Those mercy through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, sing does that stars there that for the and
Jack, okay. How many of you saw my lips moving? The sound that came out was not my lips moving. What a great rendition. Thank you so much. Wow. What a great start. Now, for the thought for the day, please welcome Sangeeta Seshadri, who is a past president of the Rotary Club of Saratoga and is here as a special invitation from Shannon.
Good afternoon, everyone. And I am just very honored to be invited. So thank you very much, President Shannon. It's a great honor to be here and do the invocation for your first meeting. In the embrace of our Rotary family, we find strength, unity, and unwavering support. Together, we are the architects of hope, weaving dreams into reality and igniting the flame of change. In our collective strength, we find the power to uplift communities, to heal wounds, and to sow the seeds of a brighter future. Let's stand together, shoulder to shoulder, bound by our shared vision, and let our actions speak volumes, for in our solidarity lies the promise of a better future for all. With each hand extended in friendship, each act of service, we paint a canvas of possibility, transforming challenges into opportunities, darkness into dawn, and illuminating the world of our unwavering commitment to service above self. Let us continue to create hope in the world, because that is the magic of Rotary. Thank you all.
It is truly my honor today to introduce you to Shannon Hackley as the 116th president of Oakland Rotary, the third oldest of the more than 36,000 Rotary clubs throughout the world. She's always helping me.
Jack, you should know how to do this by now.
What's that, Ralph?
You should know how to do this by now.
Okay.
Remember, it's a flashlight, not an ice cream cone.
She was born on August 24th, 1962 in Rapid City, South Dakota. Her father was an engineer, which meant he had to move a lot following contracts. They moved to Cheyenne, Wyoming when she was 1, Sydney, Nebraska at 2, Chicago at 3, then Birmingham, Alabama, Satellite Beach, Florida, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Middleton, Ohio, back to Pittsburgh again, finally to Stone Mountain, Georgia, before moving to Piedmont midway through her 8th grade year. She moved there with her mother, father, 3 siblings, 2 boys, 2 girls. She's the oldest girl. She fondly remembers her early years. She made friends wherever she was, participated in sports, rode horses. She wanted to be just like Olympic champion Olga Korbut. Problem was, she was a little bit clumsy and way too tall for that, so she moved to track and field and ran the 110 low hurdles at Piedmont High. Running and overcoming obstacles, a metaphor for life. She still holds the Piedmont record, as they no longer run the event. She loved modern dance and was always a good student. She graduated from Piedmont High and held a job, She graduated from Piedmont High, Biden moment. She graduated from Piedmont High and enrolled at Cal. She lived in a little studio apartment in Piedmont and rode her moped to College Avenue to work and class daily. She loved Cal. If you want to see her excited, just be in a room with her and the Straw Hat Band. She goes crazy. She held a job at 51st and Broadway in in Oakland. Primarily, you could find her stocking Hallmark card racks. She started at 15 and left when she graduated Cal in 1985 with a BA in social science and a focus on mass communications and ethnic studies, paying much of her own expenses. Now for fun time. Payless had an opportunity to participate in a statewide marketing program called the Miss Redheads International Pageant of California. Yeah, absolutely. But they needed a redhead. Payless asked Shannon if they could sponsor her, thereby participating in the event. She reluctantly agreed. Events were held at Marine World Africa, USA, and the Hyatt Regency Hotel in San Francisco on August 4th, 1984. There were 83 redheaded contestants. Shannon finished as the third runner-up. Then, like Shannon, she chastised the Chronicle for their tongue-in-cheek coverage of an event that was meant to help build self-esteem for these women and exposure for their companies. After graduating Cal, she needed a job and was encouraged to help out with her brother's sign company in Jack London Square called Circle Graphics. She spent a year and a half there and learned that helping people solve problems was her passion. After that, she went out on her own and founded the first version of Shannon Lee and Associates on February 11, 1988. She was 26. She did some work for the Port of Oakland where she met Steve Hansen. He told her that the place to be in Oakland was Oakland Rotary. So she asked Steve to sponsor her and join the mostly white, mostly male, 95%, 370 member club. Everyone was older than she was. She had a tiny little company, very little money, and was now a member of this prestigious club. Pretty confident young woman. She immediately got involved, joining multiple committees. More Rotary later. Shannon Lee and Associates grew and became a successful company during the next 9 years, but Shannon wanted more, so she took a huge risk. She shut down Shannon Lee and Associates and directed her creativity towards an entirely different area, and that's applications research group as a recruiter, an IT staffing firm. During that time, she had 2 children. By the time the dot-com industry bubble burst and recruiting was no longer viable for her, she worked part-time for the family sign company. But she ended up by taking that time off of being able to buy her first home in San Leandro. She decided, because she now had some time, to take a trip with the boys to Texas to see their grandparents. During the trip, Jack showed some signs of illness. When they got to the grandparents' home, he started having what would become a 45-minute seizure. They rushed him to the hospital, and that's where Shannon lived for the next 5 days. He was diagnosed with tuberous sclerosis. TS is a rare genetic condition that causes mainly non-cancerous tumors to develop in different parts of the body. The tumors most often affect the brain, skin, kidneys, heart, eyes, and lungs. She was told by the doctors, under no circumstances, look at the internet. The next 5 days were the most difficult in her life. She had multiple daily calls with her husband as they learned more about the disease and determined how to best support Jack. As there were no TS clinics west of the Mississippi, Shannon reached out to Tony Papp, president of Children's Hospital, through a Rotary contact, then led a group of families to establish a Northern California answer for those families suffering from TS by creating a clinic under the neurology department at Children's Hospital in Oakland. The clinic was opened in 2002 and named the Jack and Julia Clinic. It served thousands of Northern California TS patients. She spent the next few years ensuring the clinic was financially sound, running multiple fundraisers. By the way, Jack Liel is here today and doing great. Now, 5 years later, it was time to activate Shannon Lee Associates again and pivot the focus to a wayfinding design firm. She's grown the company from 1 to 11 employees, has created a successful woman-owned business specializing in environmental graphic design and signage programs for large institutions. Tom Lamone sold her a commercial downtown building in San Leandro that houses their company. She was recognized by the San Leandro Chamber of Commerce as the Business Person of the Year in 2019. A short list of her clients include Chabot College, Sutter Health, Kaiser, UCSF, Zuckerberg General, Stanford, etc. Rotary has been a huge part of Shannon's life for 36 years, actually more than half her life. While her business grew, so did her activity in Rotary. She has participated in virtually every committee and held a leadership role in most of them. She served as director in 1992-94, is a major donor to the Rotary Foundation and Polio Plus, is an ORE patron, and a member of the Bequest Society. She has traveled extensively on behalf of Rotary, including more than 10 trips to Central America countries such as Nicaragua, El Salvador, Guatemala, Belize, and Honduras. She was on the founding committee with Carl Stuckey, creating Uniendo America, the project fair, later replicated by Rotary International throughout the world. In her most recent visit to Paquila, El Salvador, she saw the residents that were babies when she was first there, now teaching school. She said it was one of the happiest days of her life. As she delivered some of Carl's ashes, along with her son Jack, and Carl's daughters Jan and Susan, and 2 grandchildren to the people of Paquila. And she delivered wheelchairs to China with son Joey, and brought back Jack and her mother, Nancy, along on one of the trips to Guatemala. She just returned from the RR convention in Shanghai, which she attended with her husband, Wes Palmquist, her 3rd conference. Shannon and Wes were married in 2015. Joey is 27 and working in Seattle, and Jack is 23 at the University of Puget Sound. They are both very proud of their boys and thrilled to have them here today. Shannon says that she has blind faith that everything is going to work out. I would add, things have worked out because of her perseverance, creativity, and relationships. Whether it's changing the lifestyle of an entire village in Guatemala to creating a clinic in Oakland, from supporting inner city kids in Oakland to starting multiple successful businesses, from being a friend to many and a mentor to others. Shannon Hackley is a leader and a winner. Please join me in welcoming the 10th female president of Oakland Rotary, Shannon Hackley.
Woo! Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Please. Yay. No. Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Wow. I gotta hold back the emotion because I've been coming to this ballroom for 36 years. And thank you all for filling the ballroom. It's wonderful to have everybody here. It kind of reminds me of when I joined. Not yet. When I joined, wait a minute, when I joined, there were 10 women and 370 men. Wow, it's different. It's so wonderful to be the 10th woman to take the gavel in a club that is ranked 10% most diverse in the entire universe of Rotary. Yeah. It makes me very proud to see our club's commitment to reflect our Oakland community, and I want to welcome you to the Rotary Club of Oakland. First, I would like to say that I'm overwhelmed by all of the support that I've received ever since I was nominated into this position. I would especially like to thank Tom Lamone for all he's done to help coach me over the last year to get ready for today. Thank you, Tom. Great job. Isa. Hello. Wow. What talent we have in this Rotary Club. Thank you. That was, I can't imagine a better way to start the meeting in a 4th of July time or in any time to sing that anthem. Thank you. And there will definitely be another karaoke night. And we may be cooking up a talent show. So all y'all with talent, and I know who's in here, start practicing. There's much talent to share, and thank you for sharing your gifts with us. Sagita. You know, I had never met Sagita. I heard her speak at a ballroom full of 400 Rotarians a couple of months ago. And she gave that speech and I was so inspired. I dashed up to the podium and I grabbed it. I'm like, can I have that piece of paper? Can I use that for my first meeting? And I was so touched by the comments that I said, I assumed somebody else wrote it. And then I said, who wrote this? And she said, I authored it. And I went, can you please share at my first meeting? And she said, of course. Thank you. Lovely. And just for the record, Live Oak team, we're going to publish that, the actual words for that. It's an incredible thought. So I'd like to do some welcomes because we have a lot of special guests here today. I want to welcome my husband, my family, my mom, Nancy, former Oakland Rotarian, my treasured sons, Jack and Joey, and girlfriend, Claire. Wes has his son, Andrew, and granddaughter, Kaisa, and his firstborn daughter, Kim. Thank you so much for coming. I'm grateful, so grateful to have my staff here and my staff on Zoom. Thank you for coming in this afternoon. And online, and I'm going to get this wrong, but I went into the office before to look at who's on Zoom. Luki Toom from Pakila is on Zoom. And my brother and my niece Ava and Sandy are on Zoom. I hope my dad's on Zoom from Texas. Not yet. And Jan Stuckey and Susan Stuckey, they have other married names, but they are Carl's daughters, are on Zoom right now. Thank you. I have a special friend from Athens, Greece, and his wife, Christos and Mariana. I don't know if they made it on, but they're probably on as well. And all of you, there are other Rotarians that couldn't come in today. Some people I wish the whole room could see the Zoom, but hybrid is good. We're going to always do it. It's important that people can get here even if it's on Zoom. So let's see, where am I? I couldn't do this without all of my staff because it's going to be a year full of dual purpose for me. And I'm very grateful and I'm thanking you in advance. And my dear husband, I'm thanking you. Can you turn that around so they can see it? Look what they made for us. And let's show it to the Zoom folks over there. You can show it. Did you see that sign? We are in a creative business and thank you for being creative today. All right, so let me share with our guests a little bit about our club. It's important that we always share stories. We're the third oldest club in the world. We were founded in 1908. This club has 30 committees, 2 boards, 2 nonprofit businesses to manage, and 1 paid staff. I would like to make sure that our board of directors, the Rotary Board and the Oakland Rotary Board and the president of the ORE board, please stand to be recognized. And yeah, and for the rubber meets the road with the Rotarians that chair committees. And so also if my committee chairs can please stand up and get a little round of applause. Thank you so much. There are other dignitaries in the room like Brad Howard, former RI director and past district governor. We have a district governor of our own, Ed Jelen, and anybody that I forget, you please forgive me. So welcome. And oh, there's that other person here, Lori Sinclair Cotier. Lori. Lori was our executive director for many, many years. I remember being coached by her when I said, they asked me to be president. I don't think I can do this. And I didn't, but finally figured it was time. But thank you for all of your care for this club. You mean the world to us. Thank you for being here. So it's my honor to take this position to serve as your president. We have much to celebrate and much work to do. Rotary International connects over 1 million Rotarians in 200 countries around the world. We include everyone, all people, all cultures from every corner, doing great local work, great international work. And every year, Rotary International rolls out a theme. And this year's theme is the magic of Rotary. So you think I just like orange? Oh, and then there could be, he's so interested, yeah. So our organization gives members platforms to connect and participate in projects that help make the world a better place. So maybe we'll hear a chime. Oh my goodness, a chime. Can I have that, please? When we hear magic stories about Rotary. So thank you, Ralph. Okay, so in order to have stories to tell and stories to make. Thank you.
I want you to know that the chime comes with chopsticks.
Okay, chopstick. Ooh. My idea of magic is not a black hat and a white rabbit. My idea of magic is stories and magic. We'll get a hook here next week. Okay. All right. Let me take a sip. Today and all year long, we will be celebrating and sharing and making stories to tell. Our organization gives members a platform to connect, inspire, and participate in projects to help make the world a better place. I always tell people, so what do you tell people when they say, what's Rotary? Right? I used to say, Rotary is a non-political, non-religious community service organization that does great work all over the community. Well, I've learned to tell a better story. Joining Rotary has changed my life over and over again. As you heard from Jack McAboy, I was a very undeclared student at Berkeley. I heard Dianne Feinstein speak at a poli-sci event. She was the mayor of San Francisco at the time. I was so inspired. I was convinced I must do something. Run for office, go join the Peace Corps. Thank goodness I found Rotary. Rotary is my passion, Rotary is my avocation, but I do still need a job and I need to work. But Rotary gives me a place to serve the community among like-minded people. Is there a mic over there with Miss Anna Marie? Yes, there is. So, working with like-minded people in the community. Anna Marie often tells one of her biggest mistakes was what? What was it?
Not joining groups and I was like very stay eligible.
Not joining Rotary young enough. Every time she talks to young people, she says, this Rotary thing, it's like, I wish I would have done it 10 years earlier. So let's talk about membership. What a gift we have to offer people. All you do is all of you join Rotary for different reasons. Some join to do hands-on work, some to donate money to charity, some to make friends in a new community or because you have a new job here, some to ride bikes, find a cycling team, some to travel the world to get connected, to increase your network. I remember Dudley told me once, he goes, actually, when I joined, I really wanted to get on some country club golf courses. So sometimes it's to play golf. Whatever it is, becoming a Rotarian can change your life and others. Today, we have the privilege of welcoming a new member. To join Rotary, you are invited by a sponsor, by someone who believes you would be a good Rotarian. Keith Uriarte has been an amazing Rotarian for 7 years, and he sponsored many new Rotarians. Our tradition is that we introduce the Rotarian with 2 interesting facts, just to pique your curiosity to get to know them. So could you please welcome Keith, and as he introduces the first new member during the Magic Rotary year. Keith.
Little Shannon, fellow Rotarians and guests. Today, I have the opportunity of introducing the first and newest Oakland Rotarian of President Shannon's term, Oakland City Auditor Michael Houston. Since high school, Michael has taken personality tests that continue to define him as introverted, intuitive, thinking, and with judging traits. Today, he is independent, logical, and reflective. Michael is a roller coaster enthusiast. He once developed a framework for evaluating them based on speed, airtime, G-force, and smoothness. Fellow Rotarians and guests, please welcome our newest Rotarian, my friend, Oakland City Auditor, Michael Houston.
Welcome, Michael. We're going to get rid of this and give you a pin, your Rotary pin. Now, wearing a pin gets you a lunch anywhere in the world, actually. So if you're hanging around in Singapore and want to get a free lunch, just find out when the Rotary meeting's being held. But it also identifies you as a community. Nice new pins. We have magnets now. I've been in here a long time. And here's your red badge. Okay. Welcome. We have other goodies. Let's see here. You'll also receive our club centennial. Over here. I'll get used to it. We have this bag of goodies for new members. It includes a centennial book that was written by our Linda Hamilton about the 100 years in the Rotary. We actually have a brand new roster. Would you like to know that we have a brand new roster on PDF today? Thank you, Alex Bolson. So we have a new roster. Your name will be in there. So that's exciting. And let's see, what we're hoping is that you, as a new member, you'll come to the meetings when you can, participate in committees, practice service above self, and contribute to our foundation and our endowment. It's my privilege to induct you as the newest member of the Oakland Rotary Club. Well, so when a new member is inducted to the club, your adventure begins. You attend orientation, then you have to sing a karaoke night. Did you hear that? And just kidding. And we introduce you to the many ways you can get involved. To convert your red badge, which explains that you're new, to a blue badge, which explains you've gone through the process, you get to give your 3-minute introduction. As an example, we happen to have a red badger that's going to give up his red badge for a blue badge. Stuart Epstein, please come up and let's hear your 3-minute introduction. Now, I'm going to be very kind of, I'm going to explain boundaries a lot this year, and there is a 3-minute boundary on this particular thing. So I'm going to, oh, where's my phone? Who's got a 3-minute timer? Okay. Oh, it's a 3-minute introduction. So when 3 minutes hits and everybody's told to practice, they're going to hear the chime, which means there's no hook in Rotary, but now there's a chime and we will be chiming. Anyway, with that warning, Stu, we know you do a wonderful job, and I'll say more about it when you get your blue badge. Welcome.
My fellow Rotarians, I'd like to take a few minutes to tell you about a little bit about myself, but please pour yourself a glass of wine on each of your tables to fortify yourself for what you're about to hear. One of the major themes in my family was a focus on civic participation and responsibility, which led me to volunteer at the DCM, that's the Division of Civilian Marksmanship, outpost in San Mateo, where among other things, I learned to shoot and eventually became a firearms instructor and competitive shooter while I was attending Cal Berkeley, something which I did not tell any of my friends and other students, as you can imagine at that time. While there, in addition to studying Athenian law and democracy, which is like studying for a major in unemployment, I qualified and became a member of the U.S. Small bore rifle shooting team and had the honor of representing my country at the 1991 World Cup and as a reserve member of the U.S. Olympic shooting team in Barcelona in 1992. After university, I spent a couple of years as an adjunct professor teaching early Mediterranean history. Adjunct is professor speak for expendable, but it sounds much better when you call it adjunct. Okay. And while I loved teaching, I hated publish or perish. So one day, while I was grading papers, a friend had invited me up to Sonoma to help bottling a winery as interning at, and I immediately became smitten with winemaking, and I'd finally found a career where drinking on the job is compulsory. I lost my mind, I think it melted in the heat, and moved to attend the inaugurates school at Fresno State. I then went on to live in Fresno for 20 years, where in addition to winemaking, I'd owned a Sylvan Learning Center. And since civic service had been an ongoing theme in my life and my family, I joined the Chamber of Commerce and helped found the Madera Vintners Association. And the MVA worked in partnership with allied grape growers to promote Central Valley tourism and get fair prices for the very first time for grapes that wind up in nearly 70% of California wines. Also, while in Fresno, I worked as a senior winemaking consultant for Central Valley Wine Services, making award-winning wine for 17 wineries along the Western Seaboard and complaining about it incessantly until one day my wife, who I met on J-Date because she couldn't find an eligible Jewish man in all New York because, well, I think she was blind, gave me an ultimatum. 3 options. You can take your salary and stay where you're at and stop complaining. 1. 2. You can start your own winery and stop complaining. Or 3, and I like this one least of all, there'll be a murder. Mine. At about the same time, my wife took a job in San Francisco when we saw an amazingly vibrant maker community here in Oakland. And we fell in love with this city and the people here, and which led us to moving out here and launching Brooklyn West. Over the years, Allison Bliss and Keith Uriarte and Keith have been supporters, and they encouraged me to join Rotary. I'm glad I finally listened. I'm fortunate to have found a group of like-minded leaders, who believe we can improve the lives of members of our local community and globally through civic action and engagement. I'm proud to be a member of Rotary. Please stand and join me in raising our glasses and drinking a toast to Oakland Rotary, Rotary International, and Shannon Hackley.
Perfect.
Wow, that was fantastic. Fantastic. And who knew? Did you know that he's a Sylvan franchise owner?
I did.
Have you talked about that? Okay. Oh my gosh. Fantastic. Here is your new blue badge. So we get rid of the red.
Bye-bye, red.
Oh, you're a real Rotarian. Okay. All right. And I also want to acknowledge Stuart because he is also a sponsor of this meeting. And Brooklyn West Winery is in Oakland. The wine on your tables has been provided by his winery. And so I know who you are, those wine enjoying people out there. Buy wine from him. All right. So please, thank you for your contribution and do buy wine from Brooklyn West. Awesome. Okay, see if I forgot anything. All right. My turn for a magic membership story. So also, just so other people know, normally we have Rotary business and we have a 30-minute speaker. You came to kind of one of those induction meetings where it's kind of all a speaker. So anyway, next time you come, we have world-class speakers. My turn for member story. Special guest in the audience. We have a woman who I have known for 30 years and who I knew as a friend and a coworker. And she's also the past president of a Rotary Club in Lincoln, California, near Sacramento, about a 60-member club. And she's a former member of Oakland number 3. And guess who sponsored her? Joanne Hilton has been my close friend for 30 years. We both lived and worked together. And after I sponsored her in 2004, she joined me on a trip to Guatemala, Lukey. If you've met Joanne once, for a wheelchair distribution. So the rest of the story is really amazing. She retired young, very young, and ended up being the most amazing Rotarian in Lincoln. She was recognized as the Rotarian of the Year in 2019 to 20 in District 5180. She's been active with programs to stop human trafficking. She's been an absolute founder and rock star working with the Lincoln Downtown Food and Wine event. If you want to go, it's coming up. And she's the hardest working volunteer going. She was also pivotal when you heard about Jack's tuberous sclerosis clinic. She chaired my walkathon and raised $90,000 on behalf of tuberous sclerosis and Jack. And I love Joanne. Please come up and tell us, say hi to your old club. And thank you for coming in from Lincoln.
Well, she stole a lot of my thunder there, but thank you. When my dear friend Shannon invited me to become a member of Rotary, it took me about 7 or 8 years to get here, which was, as you're saying, not good. But I did stand in this room and was inducted in June of 2004 as a member of Oakland number 3. I'm very proud of that. A couple of years later, I moved to Lincoln and transferred there. But after I was inducted, Shannon dragged me off to Guatemala on a 2-week trip. And I had the incredible experience of traveling with some of you and Gudrun and others. And Carl Stuckey was with us, showing us his pet projects for a week, traveling around Guatemala. What an education. It was an amazing time. So I want to say that it's really okay to have people join Rotary if they're looking for business connections, because that's why I joined. But on that trip to Guatemala, that all changed. I had the magic of Rotary touch my heart and change my life. And that happened, and there was a picture here a minute ago of a home delivery of a wheelchair Shannon and I did when it changed my life. And it still continues to change my life in the work we do and continue. And it's a great pleasure to do that. I'm certain that Shannon is going to lead this club to do signature accomplishments with touches of magic. And I congratulate you on making her your president.
Thank you, Joanne. I keep bringing up this mentor of mine, Dr. Carl Stuckey. Susan and Jan, who are on Zoom, and so many of you that have touched his life. Our World Community Service Committee is called the Carl Stuckey World Community Service Committee now. He taught me to empower and encourage new leaders. Create an army of Rotarians to go out in the world and do good work. He knew it was important that the work continue when we're gone. So the point is that membership is not only important, but it's vital. So with that, I'd like to recognize and ask anybody who's ever sponsored a new member to stand up. Come on, and anybody on Zoom, please wave your hand that you sponsored a member. Thank you so much. Thank you. Oh, and Steve Hansen just stood up. I think you should stand up again. This man sponsored me into Rotary 36 years ago. But what I want to explain, thank you. We're so young. Yes, but this is, you were not shorter. So Steve Hansen, not only do I thank you, well, this is the point. If you wouldn't have sponsored me, I wouldn't have sponsored Joanne. And that is the magic, right? So your sponsoring of me and my sponsoring of Joanne, imagine the lives we've touched because of your act.
Well, I was a pleasure to sponsor you. I knew you were very active and very intelligent and very capable. So I think you were great. And I'm glad you're still persevering all of this.
Thank you, Steve. So with that, I have a phrase and my staff is going to have to chime in. I didn't shield them up for this and my kids. But I'm pretty well known for a phrase that really works at this moment. You don't get if you don't ask. Right? Can I hear that again? You don't get if you don't ask. Don't keep Rotary a secret, you guys. It's magic to invite others to join. Imagine how you might change many lives. Thank you, Steve. So, okay, on to more magic. Rotarians work with our future leaders, our youth. Oakland Rotary spends about $170,000 every single year on youth projects, scholarships, field trips, mentoring, youth experiences. That's not my phone. Is it out there in the back, way back there? It is my phone. Don't have your phone on during the meeting. My phone's way down there. Thank you. Sorry. So we have a very special guest who came down all the way from Tahoe to share a special story about a magic program that we started at Oakland Rotary. My dear friend, Dale Shamlin, please join us and tell us about some magic. Past President Dale.
You know, Shannon, Jack just asked me if I brought my own footstool. But Jack, if you recall, Nabi Nakamura, longtime member here, is about my size. I remember him coming to the mic one time. He said, "I know you can hear me. Can you see me?" So I'll ask that same question. You know, my grandfather joined San Francisco Rotary in May of 1914, 110 years ago. And my father and my uncle were also lifelong members in Rotary. So when I sensed a need to become involved in my birth community of Oakland, did you think it was going to be with Kiwanis or Lions Club? Not likely. I would have been ousted from the family. I joined Oakland Rotary in March of 1976. And as some of you know, my life was already very full. 4 years later, in 1980, I was CFO of our multi-state family business. And I had just recently completed the single parent adoption of two little girls, Shannon and Shelley, who you know well, ages 3 and 5, who were found living in the streets of Oakland and taken into protective custody. But nonetheless, seeing the value of Rotary, I decided to join anyway. I had the time for it. In 1981, at a Rotary meeting, member Art Hecht and I discussed opportunities for more involvement with Oakland students. For several years, I was a boxing coach at the Oakland Boys Club. Art was formerly the chairman of the Piedmont School Board. And he was also involved in lots of other programs and projects for kids. We became aware of a program called Camp Enterprise put on by the San Diego Rotary Club. And on an invitation from them, we flew down there and we attended their 3-day event. Their kickoff speaker was then Mayor Pete Wilson, later Governor Wilson. And through the next few days, Art and I took copious notes of every program event. Armed with a proven format, we got an okay from our club board of directors at the time to put on such a program, but they admitted they didn't have the $10,000 funds necessary to have this particular camp. So Art and I approached a successful entrepreneur, Lowell Berry. He was our club president in 1945. That's the year I was born. But we did apparently the sales job of our life because Lowell listened to this program description that we gave him. And he saw the potential magic and handed us a check for $100,000. And saying very enthusiastically, I really like the idea of this important educational opportunity. Here's 10 years of support. With the help of Eddie Snow, who many of you knew, owner of the Dale Carnegie Institute in the East Bay, and 30 other very excited Rotarians, we put on our first camp in 1982. It was a resounding success. The 90+ students in attendance loved it, and so did the Rotarians. And frankly, I never figured out who enjoyed these camps more, the kids or the adults. We all learned from it. The one problem that we did have is that it became so popular that we had to enforce some term limits because everybody wanted to tell their story and share their thoughts about business with young kids. To keep it fair and fresh, 3 years and you were out. It was magic at the start of each camp to see shy and reticent teenagers clinging to the few students they knew from their own schools as they grew their formerly limited and restrictive comfort zones enormously over the next 3 days. It was a hug fest at the end of every camp. You remember. And in my lifetime, I have always attempted to create win-win experiences, and this is certainly the case. The students learned a lot, but so did the Rotarians, and many close friendships I made with other Rotary members at the camp have lasted for decades. There is a reason why I drove 5 hours through 109-degree heat to get here from Lake Tahoe. Your new president, Shannon, saw the value of Camp Enterprise and got involved soon after. She joined the club in February of '88. I understand that the advent of COVID, like so many other educational opportunities for kids, was put on hold. But I understand that you are back to doing a camp, maybe in a slightly more abbreviated fashion. I sincerely hope that you guys will find the magic to build this camp up to the levels that it once was. Congratulations.
Thank you, Dale. Thank you for driving down from Tahoe, and thank you for being so instrumental in giving us that magic. And because I am going to be president and I have to learn how to hunt, and we're running out of time already, I am going to I'm going to skip our areas of focus for next time. And I'm going to, but I am going to mention that we have 3 campers that became Rotarians, and 2 are in the room. Harold Lowe, are you here? Harold? And Pat Daly but is in the room, and he was a camper. And Danny Mai was also a camper who became a Rotarian. So it was called Camp Enterprise. I will always call it Camp Enterprise, but it's the Enterprise Institute. Thank you to the new team and to the old team and everybody that keeps it going. It's amazing. All right, don't keep Rotary a secret. I'm going to talk about Polio Plus for just a minute, and then we're going to show a video. So I'm going to skip through the avenues of service and talk about not keeping Rotary a secret. I joined Rotary, as you've heard 16 times, in 1988. Ted Normart was our president. Ted, I hope you're on the line. If you aren't, I'm sending you some love. Jack McAboy was the chair of the Polio Plus campaign. Polio. How many people know anybody that ever had polio? Wow. My mother, Nancy Hackley, in the front row, had polio. Can you imagine a Rotarian sitting around? Rotarians, what should be our big project? Let's just wipe out polio off the face of the planet. That's what Rotarians do. We think big, and that's what we did. Rotary International launched its Polio Plus campaign in 1885. It was the first large-scale private sector effort to coordinate internationally to support a public health initiative. Its goal was to immunize every child on the planet Earth. Who does that? And we did. Rotary's initial funding target was $120 million, but in 1988 at the National Convention, they raised double that amount. And then we got the World Health Organization and the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation involved. And we literally created a distribution network to vaccinate the planet Earth. And we had it licked to like 1 or 2 cases in the world, except for war and conflict. So we have just a handful of cases around the world because we can't get into Afghanistan or into Pakistan to vaccinate kids. And when we find a area that still has polio, we have to vaccinate for 3 years. Rotary is committed to the end. And I was a member and I was 26 years old and I was like, this is so amazing. Who are these Rotary people? And I pledged $1,000 and I had none money, none. But I pledged $1,000 because I wanted to be a Paul Harris Fellow, and I pledged it to Polio Plus. It took me many years to pay that pledge off, but it so inspired me that Rotary thinks big, and I've learned that from many of my mentors. So, gosh, this has gone up. We've lost our timing here, haven't we? Okay. Quickly, I'm going to say that we just got back from polio. We just got back from Tokyo. CJ was with me. We went to the Singapore, not the Shanghai convention. And we were at a baseball game in Tokyo, the Tokyo Swallows, a professional baseball game. It was a blast. The magic of Rotary. CJ, what happened?
I love the sound of President Shannon. First of all, let me say I know a little bit about stories and magic, having worked at Fairyland for many years. So I fully appreciate the theme. So here we were at a baseball game in Tokyo, which is wonderful. Do you know they have a chant for every single player? Amazing. So as we exited the game, we obviously wanted to look at the merch. So there we were, and a young Japanese woman approaches us because my husband, David Stein, who sadly couldn't be here today, was wearing a Rotary hat, a Rotary shirt, maybe even a Rotary jacket. And she comes running up and says, my name is Leona. And I was a person who was able to come to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania on an exchange through Rotary. She said she loves Rotary and she is currently helping other youth come to America through Rotary. Magic. Thank you. Oh, and she has our contact information, is going to look us all up when she gets here.
Yes, she'll be on the podium. Okay, now I'm going to go to the video. At this moment, Rotary, as you know, has changed my life a million times. And I met a little girl and I painted her fingernails and she was about 3, Lukey. I don't know how old were you, 3, 4? And she's actually on the video call right now. And I told her that I was going to be president of Rotary. And we actually took Carl Stuckey's ashes to Pakila and they honored his children and the work that he did. And I said, hey, I'm gonna have this meeting and could you you want to say something? And they produced a video for us. So let's just take a moment to appreciate Lukey and her family's greetings to our club. Peter got the message.
Hi, Shannon.
Hi, Shannon. We wish to meet you someday, Shannon.
Hola, Club Rotario. Muchos saludos allá en Oakland, California. Muchísimas gracias por apoyar a esta comunidad en la década de los 90. Shannon fue parte importante de este proyecto y Carl Stuckey. La verdad estamos agradecidos porque se transformó con una mejor calidad de vida y la participación rotaria de Oakland fue mágico para atraer el apoyo de otros clubes de Estados Unidos y Canadá.
Shannon, from Pakila, we're saying hi. Here is my family. We want to say that the Rotarian people, when they came back in the days here in Pakila, it was magical for us because it helped a lot our little town. They made many changes in health, in the well-being of the people. And now today with my family, we want to wish you all the best in your period of the presidency that you're going to start. Bye, Shannon. Bye, Shannon.
I'd very much like to ring the bell for Madam President Shannon Hackley.
Thank you.
No, is this microphone, is this microphone on? Can you hear me? Okay, I want to ring the bell.
Stand up.
I want to ring the bell in honor of each of the female presidents of Oakland Rotary.
Thank you. Oh, I'm supposed to ring, sorry. Hey, thank you. Well, a bell ringer is $100 donation to our endowment. Okay, who's listening? Linda Bossenecker. Thank you. Alex Kafka. Thank you, sir. Will Hobbs. Thank you, sir. Alex Posen. Trisha.
Hey, Shannon, wait for the mic.
Shannon, so proud of you. We're looking forward to your year.
Thank you, Tom. Keep the magic going, Shannon. Thank you so much, CJ. Steve Hansen. Thank you, Steve. See, you're raising money.
Yeah, Shannon, I'm gonna ring the bell for you for a terrific year ahead.
Okay.
I'll ring 3 bells, one for Shannon, one for Tom Lamone, and one for this beautiful lady right next to me.
Thank you. Michael Black.
Ring the bell.
Wonderful. Pam Clausen. Isaac. Oh, Cos. Isaac.
Proud to join the board at this time and serve under your leadership. I ring the bell for you, and I also ring the bell for our first new member under you, our city auditor, Michael Houston.
Brad Howard.
Bell for you, and I'm not even a member of this club.
Thank you, sir. Pat Williams. I'm sorry, Mary John.
Yeah, I like to ring a bell for Shannon, and I want to ring the bell for the We Care Committee. They serve food for my husband recovering from surgery.
Blessings, thank you. Pat Williams. Oh, President Shannon, thank you so much. Jim. Bossenecker.
To heck with Shannon, I'm ringing the bell.
Yeah, baby. Karen,
I'm gonna ring the bell for Shannon. I'm really excited for this year.
thank you. Rich, I'm so happy to have you here. Thank you for coming. Thank you, Rich. Oh my gosh, I know everybody's name. Hi, Alex. Oh, we have another one in the back. Yes, ma'am.
And also Keith Yarte, who sponsored the Oakland Vietnamese Chamber of Commerce.
Thank you. So nice to see you. Joanne. Oh, we're over time. Jeez. Joanne, thank you so much. All right, my goodness. Lily Sinclair.
I'm ringing the bell because Shannon, do you remember when we decided at Rotary International Convention in Portland, Oregon, that it would be smart to swim across the Willamette River
And we did. We did. Yes, Wagner.
Ring the bell. President.
Thank you. It's Agita.
I'd like you to ring the bell. Magic of Rotary brought me a new friend.
Thank you so much and welcome and thank you. All right. Oh, and Bonnie and Elita. Oh my goodness.
Friend Shannon Hackley, and this is to hang in the office.
Thank you so much. I've been from Gallery and Vicki Davis.
Online bell ringing.
We're so blessed to have you. Thank you so much. My mother, Nancy Hackley.
My number one daughter.
Thank you, Mom. And Jesse Schmidt. I'm sorry we're going over. We never do this.
So thank you, President Shannon. I'd like to ring the bell for you as well. And I also would like to make an announcement that we're doing a new thing where we try to collect our bell rings during the meeting.
Yes.
So we're at this back table. If you rang the bell, we would love it if on the way out, you just bring up your credit card. We'll swipe it. It takes about 5 seconds. Thank you.
Great. Okay. So online bell ringers with Linda Chu, Jan Stuckey, thank you. Cece, thank you, Cece. My sister Leslie, thank you so much. My brother Sandy, thank you so much. Oh my goodness. Oh, I'm sorry.
Sid Saperstein rings the bell.
Thank you very much. This has been a thrill for me. I'm so grateful to see Roger Huddlestone in the house. Some other people that have come in that I wasn't able, the past president of the San Leandro Rotary Club and CEO of Boys and Girls Clubs of San Leandro. Hey, listen. Joe.
I already did.
Hold on. Joe. Okay. Please, whoever wants to ring the bell that didn't get a bell, you can still use your credit card on the way out. That's so fabulous. Thank you. Don't feel you have to be recognized to use your credit card. We said it was $100. If you want to ring the bell, you do have to pay $100. Okay, so here we go. Do not come to the ballroom next week. We are going to have a fabulous offsite, and Ed Brink is going to tell us about the offsite. So listen up.
David Stein has some nerve. He said, I'm not feeling good today. Can you announce the offsite next week? Be in the Chapel of the Chimes. Mountain View Cemetery is our offsite meeting next week. At 2:00, we'll be meeting at Mountain View for about an hour tour. And then from there, we will be going to Fennon's Ice Cream to finish off the day there. The only reason I'm doing this is to get to Mountain View. You have to walk by Chapel of the Chimes. So we'll see you then.
And then on July 25th, you want to come back to the ballroom because we are going to have a very special screening of the award-winning documentary called Judging Juries. We're going to have Abby Ginsberg, who is the producer and director. She's an award winner, as well as Jim McSilver, an Oakland resident who is the editor, and you won't want to miss it. So be here July 25th for the screening of Judging Juries. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. So now this meeting, thank you, everyone. I'm honored that this meeting is adjourned.
Not easily distracted, dead like a lightning, if you only live. I'll be soon.